Hello, everyone. In this particular session, we're going to talk about networking skills for modern professionals. We're going to talk about the importance of networking and provide tips on building and maintaining professional connections, especially in digital context. So we're going to include both live in person as well as kind of have a little bit of a focus for digital context, online networking. First, let's talk about why networking matters. It's going to build long-term professional relationships. Typically, when you're doing networking, you're really networking with like-hearted people who work for other organizations outside of your own. So if you're a nurse, you're joining a network of nurses in other hospitals, maybe even beyond your geographical location. If you're an attorney, you're joining working in law. Same thing, you're joining a group of lawyers outside of your organization. Universities, there are lots of different organizations to support different titles, if you will, or job descriptions or jobs in college and university, everything from admins to professors and graduate students and others. I belong to one. It's called the Association for Talent Development. I belong to my local chapter as well as the international organization. And when we talk about long-term relationships, I still have really great friends that I've met 20 years ago, and to include a couple of mentors that I am still in touch with constantly so that I can get that type of connection. And it's really nice to have friends that are having the same experiences, only different perspectives because they work in different parts of industry as well as different parts of the world. So by doing this, it really encourages that collaboration. So if ever I'm challenged with doing a delivery on one of these sessions, I'll contact one of my mentors. So I don't just Google it. I don't just chat GPT it. I actually will I'll contact my friend, Dr. James Smith Jr., or or email Ken Blanchard or somebody like that, where they're kind of pioneers, if you will, or really big names, if you will, but they're also become personal friends over the years. And that's not to brag. It's an explanation of how that encourages us to work together. So in these relationships, they go both ways. I'll ask them for feedback, and they'll actually ask me for how I might address certain challenges and issues. It's really exciting. And because of the way they work, it's what I call gives you an outside view of your profession. It gets you out of the four walls. So instead of being in the building and only doing your job as it pertains to your organization, which is important, you got to do that to grow and make sure that everybody prospers and that you're serving the people. However, part of taking yourself and your own internal growing and your own professional growth, adding the idea of networking can really sustain you. It keeps you excited, and you can learn so much more about what other people are doing beyond just the scope of your own internal organization. So there's a few skills to doing this, to making this work really well. And one is effective communications. And what we mean by that is learn how to introduce yourself in an elevator pitch format, something that's succinct and short. Hi, I'm Dave. I'm a trainer. I belong to ATD, and I love to teach professional development, and those are my specialties. Oh, I also work in cybersecurity. I write all my own content, and I deliver content that I write as well as from others. That's a quick elevator pitch, right? And it kind of lets people know what it is. Now, and then you're leaving it open to be asked questions for more. And that is a big part of effective communications, no matter what we're talking about, but especially when it comes to networking. You want to do more listening than talking. So it's really about keeping that short elevator pitch to introduce yourself and then really active listening. Listen well, give feedback, say, this is what I think you said. Oh, tell me more about this. And really practicing the back and forth, but making sure you do more listening than speaking. Another key to networking is build authentic relationships. You can cast a net, but don't just be casting a net and say, let me add up the numbers. How many connections do I have on social media? Because that's not what it's about. Networking is about quality over quantity. Seek those genuine connections, connections that you can rely on to support you, but more importantly, what you can offer your network. And that's how this really works. It's not as much about what you can get, it's more about what you can give. The good news about that is, remember, the first receiver of giving is that of the giver, also known as it's better to give than to receive. But all of that is really true because you're going to feel good about yourself and it's going to help you to build your network. You're going to be the go-to person within your network. So add the value by offering and sharing your resources, your skills. That's why when I teach other professional development skills training, I always show the research, what I've done for research, where I learned the content. Because as a professional trainer, my job isn't to keep hold. That's not my responsibility to keep my information. My responsibility is to share. So when it comes to networking, it's really about what you offer your network. Because don't worry, you'll get lots back. If everybody does that, think about it. If everybody is focusing on what they offer the network, does that mean that everyone's going to be giving? Therefore, everybody will receive. I think about two different types of networking: traditional networks, or an analog, which is a term I learned from Steve Jobs, which basically means live. So join a professional organization. You can find one near you, and one of the best sites to go to is directoryofassociations.com. If you go in there, there's a drop down where you can go ahead and search for associations based on your physical geographic location. And one of the cool things about networking in your job, or as it relates to your job and what you want to do, is it's the best example of acting local while thinking globally, or I should switch that. Think global, act local. So that's why I'm what's known in ATD as a power member. And I work with my local chapter to help get more people into that role. What that means is I have a national membership as well as a local chapter member. So I get to go to I offer my time and talent, and I actually go to the in-person meetings as well as online. So if it's somewhere in the state that's kind of far away, maybe I can only go online. But if it's within an hour drive and it's like right after work, I'll let my team know, hey, this is really important to me. I would love to meet these folks, shake their hands live, and have that face-to-face analog discussion that I may not get just through email posts and so on. Join that organization. Check it out, directoryofassociations.com. And there are other sites that you can find. But any business you're in has an association, I promise you, because I just believe in this so much. Again, offer your time and talent. What can I do? Here's how much time. Leveraging digital tools. So what if we're not doing it analog? Is there a way, or what can we add? So you want to be able to do both. You want to be able to be part of that live connections, but you can also do it digitally. And that's how I keep in touch with my friends all around the world. One way is LinkedIn, also Reddit. Reddit has what they call subreddits, and they're designed to have their pro subreddits. Meetup is another great digital tool because Meetup will not only support you digitally, but Meetup also has meetup sessions. There's also Slack communities, especially a lot of technical people really like Slack as well as marketing and sales, but they can find what appeals to you. You can just go to Slack or just go ahead and search for Slack communities for my business. Now, I just also want to say that if you belong to an association, again, in my example of the Association for Talent Development, or ATD, we also have digital tools. So we actually will use Microsoft Teams, and we have Slack channel for communications. Just because you're joining an organization that kind of focuses in or is known for the live events, they'll still support you in that network through the digital tools. So check those out even within your local organization. Another important thing, and I'm not sure why this has even become something we have to talk about, is you've really got to learn to follow up, especially if you're using digital tools. You got to mind the gap. What that means is if you send out an email and somebody responds to you, or if somebody sends you from your network an email message, reply within a reasonable amount of time, as soon as possible. Same with text. Just because someone sends you a text, don't assume that they know you got it. Answer to something as simple as thank you. I know that there's some folks that I will text a question or I'll say, hey, how's it going? And they'll come back and say, okay. Or I'll send out a message, hi, I'm coming to town next week. See you then. With no reply, why not just let me know, hey, oh, cool, we'll get together. Make sure that you're being interactive. Follow up, mind the gap, meaning don't wait 2-3 weeks. You want to reply as quickly as possible. It's both professional and it's just the right thing to do. The other thing to do with digital tools is to do things like write a blog and submit it. Again, especially to your local organization or your professional organization that you join. Write a blog or some kind or an article and say, here, this is what I was thinking and this is what I do. I'd like to help out the organization. Or a post. If you're on LinkedIn, they're always looking for people. They're looking for influencers in social media. Or just make comments. Make sure you keep everything professional because this is going to follow you. This is to help you and I'm not talking about finding a new job. I'm talking about finding support, giving you the lift that you need to get you through some of the challenging times and to just make you better at what you do. So whatever you do, whenever you reply, all of this is about being professional. Find what appeals to you. What organization speaks to you? So mine is my training organization as well as LinkedIn. Optimize and update your profile. If you get a new picture, you want people to know that you're looking and you're constantly updating. Keep it up to date. Make sure your headline is a headline, not just a title. So I like to call myself / I do many things. I'm a trainer, poet, empath, author. My title is Director of Professional Development. I'm also a software productivity consultant, singer, songwriter, storyteller. Some people like to put in things like, you'll look at coaching. I'm a coach's coach and I help people to be better at what they do. Again, make sure your photo is up to date. It's just again, professional thing to do. People know what you look like. And again, be professional. There's some challenges to this. So when you start getting involved in networking, time management can be a challenge for you. Just kind of learn how to fit the time in, set a schedule. Sometimes we might have fear of rejection, especially if we're not used to it. I'm not good enough. I'm not as good as those people are. Yes, you are. You are their peers. Know that you are. Work on that self-confidence to get over that challenge. And if you're an introvert, focus on one-on-one interactions. You can build a network with multiple people, of course, but concentrate on the one-on-one interactions. You'll learn to get into the bigger groups later on as you go through this. So some takeaways from this: work on effective communications, especially being a great listener. Build authentic relationships. Don't go out there and try to get, thousands and thousands of followers or connections. Make sure your connections are people you can communicate to or with. Make those authentic. Use digital tools and join digital platforms like those subreddits, meetups, LinkedIn, and then follow up. Don't let stuff sit in the ether. If somebody communicates to you, especially from your network, respond back. Even if it's, I'm busy right now, I will follow up in the next 24 hours, and then make sure you do it. So that is networking skills for modern professionals. Again, my name is Dave. Thanks.